Okay, guys, story time. Do y'all remember Y2K? Like, in my youth, it was the first apocalyptic event that I was sentient for. I remember everybody was losing their dang old minds. Like, we were burying time capsules at school. I think I was in like fifth grade, sixth grade, maybe sixth grade. I really liked sixth grade. Anyways, but at the time I lived at the campground, a campground in southeastern Ohio, and our clubhouse. It was December 31st, 1999. And we were hanging out. Everybody who was like camping there that weekend, there were a couple other campers who also lived at the campground, and some people just in visiting. We were all just hanging out in the clubhouse, and we were like playing the pool table and singing karaoke, and the countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, and like, because I had watched the Leonard Nimoy, like How to Prepare for Y2K, there was all this stuff like on the news, all like 3 channels that we had back in the day, on our little antenna TV, and like in the newspapers and stuff. Like, it was, a lot of my teachers at school were really worked up about it. Like, people were full on prepping. It was my very first experience being exposed to prepping, so I was kind of nervous. I think I was 12 years old when this was happening, and so like old enough to know that I liked eating and having like electricity and stuff, and I felt like that was not stable. So we're doing the countdown, and whoo, and then 3, 2, 1, dark. Somebody had gone out back and pranked us, putting down, like flipping the breaker or something. So it was, and again, I was 12, and I'm hearing some like mildly drunk adults go, "Oh fuck." Like, everybody thought the world was ending. At least all like, 30 of us there in the clubhouse. It was nearly dark. And then turned out everything was fine, and like, in that my dad had been a computer programmer before, he was in his wheelchair and stuff and couldn't work anymore. And he was like, I don't know if he really wasn't, like, if he really thought it was gonna be a predicament, or if he was like, I'm very gullible, and I think that makes me an easy target for people having a joke on me. But so I don't know if he was having a joke on me, or if he was like, I don't know. So everything was fine, clearly. Well, ish. But that really, I had fallen in love with prepping. I mean, I already lived in the woods, and like, we had lived in tents for a good while the cabin was being built. And let me go get the pictures to show y'all. So I'm gonna be frank with y'all. In hindsight, I don't think I had like a typical childhood. It seemed perfectly normal at the time though. But this was the cabin that we lived in. It was 2 sheds, basically. A smaller one, this was our kitchen shed. It was supposed to get built on like sideways, but the folk, like, I don't know, I was 12, like, but Dad was like pissed. I remember Dad being really mad that it got put together that way. But so that's how that's the cabin that we lived in. So that window looked into the kitchen. That window's my room. And in the winter, we would put straw bales around, so that a draft, like, for insulation, basically. Let's see, what would be the best first picture to show you guys? Okay, so this was the inside of our kitchen, and it's not like this was the work in progress or anything. This is just how, this is where it looked like when like the money ran out. And so, like, this with our fridge, it was, we were really excited. It was a model of fridge that we did not have to put ice into to keep it cold. So that was really nice. But, so you can see that's the cooler there that like my dad kept his insulin in. And we just cooked on a little, like a 2-burner propane camp stove that was over. It's kind of blocked by like this wall here. But yeah, that was our kitchen. And then this is another view. So you can see these ladders are what go up to my room and my brother's room, which were each of the lofts. But that was our Windows 95 computer from whenever we lived in the house. And I remember playing Lara Croft Tomb Raider on that computer. Though usually my dad or my brother were on it, but that's okay. I was usually outside playing anyways. But there was a door here, and that was to the outside, because we were had planned on having like a porch around it. But that never happened, so there was just a door there that we didn't use, because you would just bloop fall off into the yard. But yeah, so there's that, and then here's another view. And so here you can actually see that's where my dad slept. His bed was old couch cushions that are kind of squished together, but we could turn it into a couch too. We could stack them back up and make them into a couch. Organization was clearly a little bit of a problem in this house. And then that was gonna be our bathroom. The wall had started to get framed out. And right above there was a big thing of water. That way we could fill it up and have gravity fed water down into the kitchen. And that's actually out of frame over here on the side. So that was my room as a kid. And also, before anybody mentions it, we had CPS called on us like a lot. But they're like, no, y'all just poor but loved. That's okay. I used to fill up that entire room with Dad would let me save cardboard boxes and stuff, and I'd make a whole bunch of little doll houses, and then that was my brother's room across the way. So this is where I was living when Y2K went down. So I was already pretty, not off grid, but in the sticks and not too far away from being off grid. Because I remember if we wanted to go to the bathroom, or if we wanted to shower, or if I needed to do dishes, we had to go all the way to the bathhouse. And so I would carry the foot pans of, well, that's what we call them. It's they're just wash pans, I guess. But we called them foot pans because that's what we would clean Dad's feet in with his. He had his feet weren't doing so well, so we'd do iodine baths and stuff. With his diabetes, made things really complicated. But I would carry the dishes, and whenever we had cooked anything with cast iron, it would be pretty heavy, so I would carry the pan on my head up to the bathhouse. I want to go back to that campground now as an adult, and just to kind of see the world through grown-up eyes instead of through the eyes of a 10 to 12-year-old, which is how old I was in that range of us living there. But it wasn't too far of a walk, and it was usually pretty nice, and if it was raining I just didn't do dishes right then. It's a far cry now from the kitchen that I have that's in my house with a dishwasher and with a faucet and an oven and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But I do think that was the time of my life that the seeds of being in love with camping and bushcraft, though I had never heard that term before, it was something that seeing it on YouTube, I was like, oh, if I could have seen this stuff, these bushcraft videos on YouTube when I was a kid, and running around with my dad's old hatchet out in the woods, just no sapling was safe from me. I would try to make thatched roofs and stuff, but I would just be laying grass that I'd cut down on top of it. No technique whatsoever, but I was having an absolute blast. But yeah, I think that's when the seeds of the love for that were planted. And so now the whole reason I'm talking about this is I kind of think prepping is my favorite LARP. But yeah, it's my favorite group of skill sets to develop and hopefully never have to rely on. But I love being able to be thrifty. I love being able to splurge and indulge as well, but I really makes me happy to be thrifty and frugal, and just so many of these different things go hand in hand with it all started in Y2K. Like, so, like, it's a skill set that I'm completely, like, passionate about. Like, I love growing and preserving food and having our garden, and like we've been maintaining a year's worth of food in our pantry for 2 years now, 3 years now. Sorry, it's 2023 now, baby. And so it's something that I think I want to start talking to y'all about here on the channel and learning from y'all and just sharing. I don't feel like I'm like teaching, because I don't think I really have a very good idea of what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. But I would like to share it with you guys and learn from y'all, because you don't have to be doing it the right way or the best way. Sometimes you just got to be doing it. Like you just got to get started and go from there. And I think that's been a lot of what we've doing, especially with keeping, you know, a year's worth of food in our pantry. Like there was a lot of learning curve on that, and I'd like to share that experience with y'all. But I want to hear, do y'all remember Y2K? What was your experience? Did you bury any time capsules? Were you full on prepping? Like, did you make like a little bunker or anything like that? Like, let me know down in the comments, and I would love to, in our next video on this, It All Started in Y2K series, I'll be reading some of y'all's stories and stuff that you share. So, I really look forward to hearing from you, and, I'll see you next time. So until then, you guys, keep on keeping on. Mwah. Bye.